Manchester United are not known for their smart signings and have made a lot of mistakes in the transfer window over the last decade, but over the last few years Man United have started making much better signings, with players such as Varane and Bruno Fernandes being key parts of the team. And after a relatively successful season last year, it was clear that they needed a big centre forward, as there was an over-reliance for goals from Marcus Rashford, and the man that they chose was Rasmus Højlund for £65 million. And with just 160 minutes to his name in a Manchester United shirt, just how has he played and how does he fit into the system? Rasmus Højlund's start in a Manchester United shirt has been very hopeful, and it gives a lot of opportunity for Manchester United to play a different way and get better in the future. The first that most people heard of him, he was getting compared to Erling Haaland from his stature and the fact that they're both Scandinavian. And the physical aspect of his game is actually very similar to Haaland. We've already seen it this season. Højlund has showed that he likes using his physicality on defenders. He likes running into the channels and creating problems for the defenders around him, and it's clear that he's a fighter and will give it into the defenders, which is something that Martial just simply doesn't do. And that intensity gives Manchester United another level of attack, as they could just play a simple ball into the channel and they know Rasmus Højlund's going to fight for it using his strength and probably hold onto the ball. This could help Manchester United break against teams they don't keep much possession against, especially in their away performances against top 10 teams. Not only has he got a big build and he's very strong, he's actually very quick, a bit like Erling Haaland as well, and he's very good at running in through the channels and making runs in past the defenders. This can create a hassle for the players he's playing against just because they don't know what sort of different game he's going to play. And it also helps Marcus Rashford be able to get up and help him with the ball. And when Rashford is breaking, you know that Højlund is going to be there catching up. And Rashford and Højlund having a partnership is very vital to Manchester United's success this season. They decided in the Brighton game to play a 4-2-1-2 diamond, with both of them playing as the strikers. Now obviously Manchester United didn't win this game, and it was mostly down to some of their defended issues that they've had for a few weeks now. So I don't really think it's on Højlund or Rashford. I actually think them two up front work together and they should keep this system, especially because Højlund can really hold up the ball and play in behind, but holding up the ball is brilliant when he can get through balls into Rashford with Bruno coming in behind. We saw it against Arsenal when he came on, that little flick he did for the through ball for Pilastri. You could tell that that was exactly what Man United wanted to do, and they should probably want to do long term with Rashford. Højlund's intensity and physicality also helps Manchester United get more players in the box. He can definitely win the ball from deep and push up the team, and this helps people like, I guess it's McTominay at the moment, but you would usually get someone like Mount get into the box, and this helps Rashford get into positions he wants, with the fullbacks pushing up to cross it into more people as possible. And we saw this getting used quite a lot against Brighton, as Dalot would push up on the right side and Man United would just get a lot of people in the box. They'd get McTominay in the box, they'd get Rashford in the box, Højlund would be in the box, and Bruno would just sit outside. And the more people have in the box, it's going to be a more better chance of scoring usually. And this helps with playing Højlund and Rashford up front, because Højlund is going to go and push all the defenders and start a physical battle with someone like he did with Dunk in that game and Gabriel when he came on against Arsenal. And when he's becoming a real hassle for these defenders, they either might need help or they might just sort of give up on him, and it gives Rashford a lot of space just inside the box to make sure he can do what he wants. And it also gives Rashford a one-on-one opportunity a lot of times, and we know how good he is in them touch. And also with Martial, it sometimes feels like he doesn't have enough presence on the match. His off-the-ball movement isn't very good, and he doesn't really get involved with play outside of the box. However, with the addition of Højlund, he helps the team build up play, and he can definitely spring the ball out to the left side for Rashford to even have a 2-on-1 with the overlapping fullback in that diamond that we saw against Brighton. And against Bayern Munich, Manchester United went back into the 4-1-4-1, but kind of, because Rashford did sort of play as that striker, but he pushed out more on the left just to give them more depth getting out of the box because they were getting pressed a lot. And in this game, Manchester United really weren't that bad. They only lost 4-3 in the end, and they actually just wanted to get pressed up against the Bayern Munich defence, with Pilastri the workhorse starting on that right wing, starting the press when Davies pushed forward. This allowed Højlund to get at Kim and to get at Upamecano, and this relatively worked in the first half. Obviously the Onana mistake in Man United kind of fell apart, but Højlund did really well to try and just get at them, and he just sort of didn't really have the ball a lot, so it was quite hard for him to really do much. But in the second half, he found a lot more space inside the team and got his first goal for the club against Bayern Munich. It was a bit lucky, it took a deflection of Upamecano and just wrong-footed the goalkeeper, but you still take them, and he was in a good position in between the defenders. It was very hard for Manchester United to get much of the pressure on the ball against Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich did quite a good job of just shifting the ball out where they wanted. But against Brighton, Man United actually had quite a lot of the ball, and Manchester United really should have done better with it. There's a few moments where Højlund picks up the ball and sprays it out to the left to Rashford, and Rashford just didn't make the right decision at the time. Højlund has showed he's also brilliant at the ball with his feet, and he's really good at turning with the ball and making a great first touch. This is what happened and created Man United many attacks, because every time he does this, it draws the defender away and gives Rashford a chance to be 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. And so far, Højlund continues his run in the box like a good striker does, and really should be on the end of these, but they don't seem to look up and pass it to him. Maybe the Man United players are just not used to a proper striker. And it's clear that these Manchester United players are going to have to get used to the playstyle of Rasmus Højlund still. Rasmus Højlund loves his wingers going wide and playing very deep and doing low crosses in the box. He's very good at physically battling with the players to get into the goal and get the shot away. And we saw this for the goal against Brighton, which ended up getting disallowed because it went off the pitch. He kind of just waited in the box for the low cross as Rashford kept going deep. And even then, that goal weren't really a physical goal. He sort of took his time and placed it into the corner, but it was a very traditional Rasmus Højlund goal that you like to see. And just because the amount of movement that Rasmus Højlund does, it actually creates a lot of opportunities for the attack to go forward. Some of the players can get into a 2v2 or 1v1 because he just keeps moving around and they're trying to track it. Only time will tell to see if Højlund really becomes a star in Manchester United, but at the start it shows that he's definitely got a lot of ability and there is really a lot of potential with this player. But I for one think it was a very good decision to pick him up for the money they did. He's very young and I think it gives a lot of opportunity for the future, and I do think he is going to end up making Rashford a better player on that left side. And when Rashford becomes a lot more unselfish and learns the Højlund way, then I'm sure that they'll work brilliantly together and Man United will improve, because I know that there's a lot of negative reaction around the club right now. But after that Bayern Munich 4-3 loss, I think it shows there was a lot of ability with this squad. I mean, obviously they made a lot of mistakes and there was a lot of mistakes defensively that they definitely need to sort out. But if they just keep providing Rasmus Højlund and giving him the opportunities, then he will take them at the end of the day. But Højlund is definitely a bigger asset to Manchester United as an attacking player, as a creator, as a player that's going to evaluate other players, than a player that's necessarily going to put the ball in the back of the net right now, which is sort of what they need. But I'm sure that he can develop into that as time will tell. And surely Man United knew that when they bought him, as he's a player that hasn't exactly got a lot of experience in European football. He only started really playing for Atlanta in the last 6 months before he sold to Manchester United, and they only bought him a year ago anyway. And there is probably absolutely no chance he ever reaches the goal tally of someone like Erling Haaland, but that's not a bad thing in the end. No one really is going to preach that, and I think he's probably going to be the best goal scorer of all time. So I don't think it's fair to compare Rasmus Højlund to other football players. I think realistically you've got to look at what he is, and he is going to be a brilliant asset for Manchester United, definitely a bigger asset than Martial has been or any other striker has been in the last couple of years, because he's very unselfish and will help the team, and he's not just a natural goal scorer coming in. And I wouldn't be surprised in the next month if you see a real improvement from Manchester United with Rasmus Højlund scoring a lot of goals, because I think it's yet to come and I think it will come very soon. So if you're playing FPL, I'm just saying you should probably look at him getting in your team. I wanted to do a video about Rasmus Højlund. I think he's been very good, and I know the negativity around Man United is pretty bad right now, so I wanted to give them some positive light, even though I'm not a Manchester United fan myself. I've been thinking about doing other videos around football. I'm not sure really what direction I want to go in right now, because I'm not sure if the tactical videos are really working, and I wanted it to be a football channel about loads of things. But let me know what you guys want to see, basically, because I just want to, you know, give what the people want, basically, and just do as much as possible. But please like and subscribe and tell your friends about this video, and just calm Man United fans down and say it's okay, it's not gonna, no need to worry, it's not that deep. How many goals do you see him scoring this year? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.